All right, welcome everyone. I want to call the February 16th, 2026 board meeting to order. Roll call.
Trustee Sauter,
Here.
Trustee Saviano,
Here.
Trustee Kunze,
Present.
Trustee Mahoney,
Here.
Trustee Oakland.
Here.
It appears Trustee Guma is absent and President Pearson.
Here. Okay, pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any public comment?
I have none.
No one? Okay, we'll move to the public hearing. We now open the village board public hearing regarding the proposed redevelopment plan and project for the Beverly Road and Route 72 redevelopment project area and tax increment finance district.
Do you need a motion and second on that?
Not yet. Do we need a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Well, no, not to open it, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Motion to postpone to a date.
Well, we gotta get public comment first. Any public comment? There being no public comment, I'll accept a motion to postpone to a date certain of May 18th, 2026.
Second.
Who was your first?
Who's
Sorry.
first?
I'll make that motion.
Oh,
Andy, then
and I'll second, yeah.
Thank you. Trustee Sauter,
Yes.
Trustee Saviano,
Yes.
Trustee Kunze,
Yes.
Trustee Mahoney,
Yes.
and Trustee Oakland.
Yes.
okay. Moving on to consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I will move to approve the regular village board meeting minutes dated February 5th, 2026. I will also move to accept the warrants list in the amounts of $445,000 $445,401.77 for fiscal year 2025. I also move to accept the warrants list in the amount of $220,000, 160 21 cents for fiscal year 2026. I will move to approve the ordinance approving a plat of easement regarding 507 Rock Road Drive. I will move to approve a resolution authorizing the reduction of the performance bond for water main improvements located at 543 Rock Road Drive. I will move to approve a resolution waiving competitive bidding and approving the open-end lease of 3 vehicles and equipment through the Enterprise Fleet Management Program. I will move to approve an ordinance amending section 157.003 and section 157.050 regarding pawnbrokers. I will move to approve a resolution approving the award of a contract for the Lions Park Storm Water Detention Project to Schwartz Excavating, INC. I'll move to approve a resolution waiving bidding requirements and approving procurement of engineering services for Gerald L. Hines and Associates, Inc. And I will move to approve an ordinance amending the village code to allow consumption of alcoholic beverages in a designated outdoor refreshment area for a pilot project during select summer village-sponsored events.
Second.
Second by Trustee Saviano. Roll call.
Okay. Trustee
What did
Sauter.
Oh, yeah, any discussion? Sorry.
With regards to the DORA, a designated outdoor refreshment area, I didn't see, is there a point at which we are going to be reviewing to see if it's gonna roll out for the rest of the season, or?
Yeah, we talked like doing the first 4 and seeing how that goes at our next
Yeah.
board meeting and go from there.
So which board meeting would that be? Would that be like August?
The plan is
July.
that we would do the July 6th or 7th board meeting
July 6th or 7th? Okay.
before then right away, July 8th is the next wind down Wednesday.
Okay. And, based on the committee meeting we had earlier, there's, for the other special events and the Health department, certifications that the tent vendors are gonna need. We need to get some clarification on, because we don't know if we're gonna be rolling this out throughout the rest of the year. If it doesn't get rolled out, then the people that are indoor, first off, we need to know if the people that are in the door area also need to get it, if they're gonna be doing their sidewalk. Or if they don't get it, then they can't do their sidewalk and they can only do inside. So there's it, and it's a new thing for them this year. They didn't have to do it last year. We paid for it for everyone. So that is
With
something we need to,
the health department.
with the health department, yeah. And get really clear clarification and then kind of a plan of action, how we roll that out. Do we just make everybody get it? If there's gonna be food and beverage that's gonna be around in that area, even if it comes out of their, establishment. So that's
Okay.
kind of the thing we need to get clarified. I think that's it. Yeah, okay, that's,
Any other comments?
So, yes, the pond breakers, we had a discussion about B2 versus B3. It looks like we've settled on, it is gonna be in B2, but there's a line E that says pond breakers permitted by special use permit in the B2 community business district will not be permitted west of Van Buren Street. That's all it took.
Yes.
Okay.
after all that.
Easy.
Nice,
Anyone else?
thanks.
All right, let's do
Okay.
roll call.
Trustee Sauter,
Yes.
trustee Saviano,
Yes.
trustee Kunzig,
Yes.
trustee Mahoney,
Yes.
and trustee Oakland.
Yes.
All right, moving on to the other agenda items. Discussion and direction regarding a cost-sharing initiative with East Dundee and Countryside Fire Protection District and Andrews Assist for purchase, installation, and maintenance of an automated external AED. It's on the screen now. Who's talking about it? You are, Mark?
Cute.
Good evening, board. How's everybody doing?
Good, how are you?
All right. Thank you for giving me some time to speak today. The fire district's looking to sign in with the village on a co-op purchase for a permanently installed outdoor AED unit at the depot. With the booming past couple of years of the depot and events and farmers markets and the foot traffic, we want to add a little bit another safeguard to the depot. This will be a co-op purchase between the village and fire district. However, there's a third party involved called Andrews Assist. Andrews Assist kind of got everybody together on the same page with this. They donate the actual AED unit themselves, which actually takes a big chunk of the cost out.
Oh,
So I actually invited Rebecca Folker here. She is president, founder of Andrews Assist. I've wanted her to give a little discussion about what her charity is real quick and how she gets involved and what she's about. And I'm going to come back up and discuss a little more about the save station itself as a whole.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to share who Andrews Assist is, what we do, and how we help communities save lives. I am, as he said, Rebecca, founder. My husband is also here. He's a co-founder. We exist for one purpose, and that is to protect young lives from sudden cardiac arrest through early prevention, education, and life-saving community readiness. We founded Andrews Assist in honor of my son Andrew, who on May 19th of 2022 suffered a sudden cardiac arrest and unfortunately did not survive. He was 22, vibrant, intelligent, kind. He just graduated from Illinois State, had a great job lined up, was preparing to propose. So needless to say, we were completely blindsided by his passing and miss him every single day. So after his death, we learned how widespread of an issue sudden cardiac arrest is, and that it could affect anyone at any time, even the young. It is the second leading cause of death for people 25 and under. 1 in 300 young people have an undiagnosed heart condition, And 90% of cardiac arrests outside the hospital do not survive. But there is hope. Preventative heart screenings reduce the risk. CPR and AED usage can raise survival. So from about a 10% chance to as high as a 75% chance if there's CPR that's administered immediately along with an AED. And that knowledge has really changed everything for us. And so we choose to honor Andrew by helping other families avoid this loss that we experienced. And so what do we do to carry out our mission? Well, of most relevance to this group tonight, one of our guiding principles is immediate actions saves lives. And so communities need those tools and the confidence to act. And to make a difference, we focus on increasing community readiness to act quickly when every second counts in the event of a sudden cardiac arrest. And we do this by working to increase AED access. So one of the things that we've been working very hard on is installing 24/7 outdoor AED safe stations. Marco's going to talk a little bit more about what that is, but they're very highly visible AED units. They're placed in high traffic areas, in public places, for everyone in the public to access. And I'm really excited that East Dundee's putting one in there. I love your little depot down there, so this is very exciting. Every station sends a message that lives here matter, that this community cares about saving lives. We also do community education, CPR and AED education training. First responders take about 4 to 6 minutes to arrive, and every second's matter. So teaching people how to recognize a sudden cardiac arrest, call for help, start hands-only CPR, and use an AED is really critical to helping get bystanders to intervene and replace their fear of intervening with some action that can actually save a life. Everyone is empowered to save a life. This work requires collaboration, so we're very big on partnerships, working with municipalities, fire departments, park districts, businesses, and community organizations. We sort of help serve as that connector. We've already seen tremendous collaboration. So for example, we've partnered with Huntley Park District where we've placed 5 outdoor safe stations in their 2 largest parks there, working with Huntley Fire Protection District. We were also working with the Village of Lake in the Hills Parks where we placed our first outdoor safe station last fall, and I'm going to be working on some more with them. So I just want to say thank you for listening and taking the time and for your commitment to the safety of your community. I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody has any.
I just want to say I respect and am inspired by you turning your pain into purpose. So I think this is wonderful.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's not easy for her to get up and share that story, and I appreciate every minute she takes. This is actually the second time we've done this. We're partnering also with the South Barrington Park District because we are a fire district. So we cover the village of South Barrington. The Park District is installing one of these as well in theirs in South Barrington. So like she said, Huntley I think installed 5. This is the future. You know, we can install as many as we want, but I wanted to get one in our high trafficked area in our village and start from there and see how this goes. So I'm going to give you guys a little information on the safe station itself. So, right. Forgot. Okay. All right. What is a safe station? So this is a safe station, okay? It's a heated, maintained, monitored box. It's not locked. It is accessible, but it is monitored via cellular data to a list of persons that we supply. So if the chief wants to be put on this list or Quadcom wants to be put on the list, every time the box opens, they're going to get alerted, which that is the plan. I have started that list already. We've been in talks about this with staff for a few months already. We wanted to come to you guys for a little bit of guidance and then obviously approval, but I'm going to go through a little bit more on this. There are different models of these safe stations. I'm not a salesman. This is what we've dialed it down to. So I'm going to try to explain what we've decided on would be best for the village. This safe station's wall mounted. We're looking to put it on the depot wall. There are 2 options I think are best because they need to be powered. One is either going to be the south-facing wall, kind of by where the fire extinguisher is now. I thought that was a good idea because all your events are on the south lawn, 90% of them. So everybody will have complete view access of it. After talking with Chris Ranieri, the building inspector, he thinks maybe the the east wall by the main entrance, just to the right of the door. Either way, as you know, they come with corner signs to mount on the building as well too. I know the depot's a historic building. We don't want to add too much to it, but you know, wherever you as the board decides where you want it to go, I'm fine with it. So, okay. These boxes come with a lit sign on the top. They're heated for the winter time. They're battery backup, and they're secured with a camera as well. As far as sizing is concerned, in case you're wondering how big this unit's going to be, it's only 40 inches tall, it's 14 inches wide, and it only protrudes out about, I want to say 9 inches. So you're looking at that big. It's no bigger than a fire extinguisher cabinet. Lauderdale Electric is partnering with us. They have donated to install this and run the power free of charge.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. We've already pre-talked to them. So Andrews Assist is supplying the AED itself. Lauderdale Electric, who's also a union shop, has donated the time, the manpower, and the installation to get it on the wall for us. This is an example of what AED we will be getting. So Andrews is a big fan of the Zoll AED. There's plenty of brands AEDs out there. If you go out in the hall here, there's another brand. The PDs, I think, got a bunch in their trunk. We've been talking about this recently, Caleb and I. The Zoll, the reason this is a good AED and a good spot for us is because this is the easiest as it gets. It's one set of pads for an adult, and it's the same set of pads for child. So there's no fumbling around. There's no swapping of pads. It's you grab and you go. It gives verbal instructions. It tells you when to hit the button. I really don't think it gets more simpler than this unit. It is pretty costly, but like I said, Andrews Assist is donating this unit to us. So this will be no charge to the program if I opted to continue with it. So if we purchase this together, what is included in this purchase? And this is kind of what I wanted to lay out in this. You get the heated cabinet. So our portion, the Village and Fire District, is in charge strictly of the Save Station cabinet itself at this point. We get the heated cabinet, which is lit, monitored, audible and visual alarms, transparent cover. It's also got instructions and a QR code for instructions, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
On the box.
Yeah, on the box. So if they grab it, they snap a picture, they even have the instructions on their phone if they're not, God forbid, CPR trained. It is photo controlled. It comes with a 4-year cellular plan included, meaning that's the monitoring service that will alert up to 50 people that we choose that gets this alert. So if the police chief here opted to have every single officer get their phone a text message when this box gets opened, we can do that. Even if they're on the road, and they'll start going before Qualcomm even gets to dispatch. I mean, you can't get any quicker than this. It comes with all the electrical to get it monitored, or to get it wired up and ready to roll. Also, it comes with a sign, a sticker. It will go on the bottom of the box. I'm going to back up real quick here. If you look at the station on the bottom, you see where it says you have the power to save a life. This decal will go where that is located. It will show the sponsored by the Village, the Fire District, obviously Lauderdale Electric for their time, and then Andrews Assist for the AED. And as you can see, this is exactly what it's going to look like with the QR code. And on the right of that are the corner signs. It will come with 3. You can hang them if you'd like on the depot, so if you choose to put it on one wall and, oh, nobody can see it over here, you can mount that on the other corner of the building and they'll know that the building has an AED. Now cost, so this is the big thing. The total cost of the unit is $45,210, okay, $4,520.10. It would be a complete 50-50 split between the Village and the Fire District. So the Village's portion would only cost $2,260 to install, mount, and get this up and operational. AED is included, monitoring is included. I'm in discussions with staff. If the board requires it, we can sign an intergovernmental agreement for maintenance in the future if you would like. The Fire District has offered to maintain it monthly. We will go out there and check it. We will change batteries if it's needed, and we will change pads. An idea that I've come through, that I've been in discussions with Franco with, is the only future cost concerns for this unit and the AED itself is vandalism, if insurance doesn't cover it, which it should. Damage, if anybody plays with it, which goes along with vandalism, or theft. But even then, it's got a camera. It's going to take a photo of the person. We have nice cameras in downtown. I really don't see this happening. And Rebecca, I don't think there's been any damage or neglect to any of these units throughout, correct?
Correct. I mean, we haven't had any problems with the ones we've placed so far,
Yeah.
but Save Station, Action First Aid is a company that does it. They've placed thousands across
And to go back with the depot, Phil, stop me if I'm wrong, I don't think anybody's damaged the fire extinguisher hanging on the wall either, have they? No. So I really think we're fine with our depot
Yeah.
area being
There's some
pretty
respect.
secured
Yeah.
and not have to worry about it.
Yeah.
So with those costs, who's gonna who's gonna pay for the replacement pads and,
The fire district will cover the cost of replacement pads and batteries.
that's huge.
Yeah, it is. But believe it or not, though, the Zolls, they last 6 years.
Really?
Yeah, and yeah, so that's why we decided to take the cost. We're like, it's 6 years. I mean, what's,
Right.
you know, and that's the expiration date on the pads and the batteries. The only other added cost would be when the 4 years is up on the monitoring, you have to renew for an additional 4 years, and that cost, I don't think I included the power slide, did I? It was $400 to renew for 4 years, and at that point, again, 50-50 split, the village would pay $200 to extend it for another 4 years of
That's for the
monitoring.
phone line?
Pardon?
For the phone line? The phone
Yeah,
line?
it's data, it's like cellular data, it's built into the box. Yeah, I have an admin portal on my computer, I can add all the names of people, all the text messages, what type of an alert you can get. People can only get maintenance alerts, or people can get the actual, if the unit's been opened. You know, if staff is in the building and that thing gets open and someone's CPR certified, what's stopping anybody from walking over there who gets the alert? Nothing, you know, get there before we get there, hands-on sooner, that's the whole point of this, is early access. Now, there are optional purchases, and I wanted to discuss this with you guys. So an optional purchase is Save Station offers to create a plaque. If the village chooses to do, which I suggest, a ribbon cutting, which I would really like to do, but you can do it as a dedication as well. So if the village has anybody in mind that they would like to dedicate this unit to, they will create a plaque that looks like the right one there in honor of Rebecca's son. That's actually Andrew Falker, right there.
Handsome guy.
This is also, he's a pre-made, how do I explain, pre-made plaque that's already ready to go if you don't have anybody. Yeah. Yeah, so like South Barrington Park District, for example, they don't have anybody in mind as a park district to donate it to, but they do want to donate it into ribbon cutting. So they're actually purchasing the Andrew Falker Memorial Plaque to honor in honor of him. A third option, if you did want to do a dedication, for some reason you didn't want to pick a village personnel that you can think of, and you didn't want to do Andrew Falker, the Fire Districts Union has also often offered to cover the price and dedicate it in honor of a fallen member of a past district. Your decision, okay? And then this leads into, if you choose to go with this with us, we would like to do a ribbon cutting. It brings in community engagement, community education. We can make a whole event out of this. I think it'll be fantastic. I mean, the fire district teaches CPR, Andrew's Assist teaches CPR. I really think the local businesses, the community stakeholders, your public, the events, this is just, it's another stepping stone to show how much we care about life safety in the village. Okay, the depot's only gonna get bigger.
Yeah.
So let's cover the foot traffic as much as we can. That is all I have for my presentation. So again, just to kind of reiterate, what we're looking for is the agreement, the approval to co-purchase this with us, the Save Station itself. We will maintain it, and if any recouping costs down the line for renewals of memberships or something insurance don't cover, we would work on an agreement with that, which would probably be 50-50 down the line, and then Andrew's Assist will be given the AED. So, any questions?
Caleb, is this gonna replace the one that's right inside that door then? Because we don't really need it inside.
Yes, this would be separate from that, because this would obviously be outside. That one would be reallocated to Village Hall.
Yeah, with the depot not being open 24/7, it's accessible,
Yeah.
so.
That's
Oh,
really
yeah.
neat. So we'd be gaining
Okay, so I
another
only have one
location.
problem with your presentation, both of you,
I'm sorry.
is that you should have started out with, we're gonna make you an offer that you can't refuse. It doesn't make sense to refuse, at least on my part.
We gotta be proper, we have to, you know, I
Yeah, I
wanted to make sure we did this right. I mean, the downtown is a great area, it's very historic. You know, you guys have your historical committee, and I didn't want to just say, okay, we want to slap this on the wall, what do you think? So, I kinda wanted to take the right steps with you guys, but, Yeah, I'm really excited if you approve this to get this going.
Is
And like I
this the
said,
only
this doesn't
design?
stop, pardon?
Is this the only design it comes with? I know it's gotta be highly visible.
Like the box itself?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're made, I don't even know where Safe Station, where they make them at.
I think largely in Canada, but they're actually doing,
Makes sense.
moving
Canada.
some in the United States.
Yeah, that's it. You either get a design on the model as far as the lit top
The wall
and,
mount ones look very similar. They do have ones that are not wall mount, that are standalone towers as well. That's another design. We put a couple of those out at Tomaso Park.
yeah. Yeah, and that would be kind of in conjunction with the future plan, okay? If you guys ever decided you wanted to put one by the kayak kiosk, or, you know, the
Down by the
future.
stage.
The future stage, or whatever happens down south on River, south of 72, we could put something there. They do have standalone options. You could put them on street corners. I mean, but I figured let's start smaller and, you know, more centralized for now. And if it goes over well and it's very, you know, takes a good leg, we can talk about future expansions. Absolutely.
I think on that side you're saying, the south side,
Yeah.
the depot station's a good location. I love this idea, like I didn't know I was walking into today.
Sorry.
And then I heard it, I was like, this is just amazing. And I think it has a good viewpoint
Yeah.
and you think about, you got the bike path, you got all these different events. The more people that see it, the more they become comfortable with it, knowing if something happens,
Yeah.
even a block away, they can run there and grab it. So it's really cool. So,
Yeah, you can hang one of those corner signs on the west side, right on the bike path, so people driving by can see it. I mean,
Yeah.
we're about 3 minutes after dispatch to get downtown. Not horrible. Carpentersville's our automatic response to the downtown area because they're right up water. They're 3 minutes as well, but I mean, like I said, with the text alerts, if Franco or Caleb CPR certified and they just happen to be going to the depot to see the attendants and the thing goes off, they're there. You know, they're getting the
It
alerts.
alarms, it's got an audible alarm.
It's got an audible alarm that will go off when it's open locally. It will snap pictures. It will send the pictures via text message to who's ever on the list. So if it is vandalism, and then you'll get the alert as well on your phone.
I'm wondering if we do the standalone one and put it over by Railroad Street, so, because with our future plans with the stage, we can kind of have it halfway of everything. I mean, that's a thought, but.
It's kind of
Can
your
we move it?
expertise.
Huh?
I said, that is kind of your expertise.
The stand, what was that?
I think the big question would be, with standalone, is there easy to get power to that?
Yeah, that's the problem. You need power
Okay.
to it. Yeah.
You might be able to pull off the pole, I don't know, like,
Yeah, it would be power and an upper cost.
Yeah, it'd be costly. If-
Yeah.
If anything, we'll put one at the stage too later.
Yeah.
board as well, so.
Yeah, but like Trustee Maloney said, you can always put one behind the band shell in the future.
Right.
You could put one in the parking garage in the future. I mean, these can go anywhere as long as there's power. You know, it's no stopping, so.
I think we're all on board for it, right?
Any other questions?
Yeah, I guess I would just say that we are, I guess, conscious of the look of the depot, and personally, I would just say no plaque, because we want to minimize our footprint with this
Yeah.
thing. As much as we like the idea of it, we want to keep it as small as possible, I guess, is my thought personally.
Or if there's a way to include that into the whole sponsored by and dedicated to artwork.
We'll have to talk to Safe Station. I'm not sure, because there's not a lot of space. That label's probably this big. So
Okay.
you'll get the sponsored by and then the QR instructions
I'm
on the
just
other
trying
side.
to-
Yeah, it's probably about this big, right? Yeah, I can understand, and with the 50 split, that's why I wanted to leave it to you guys. It's your depot, it's your wall. I'm not gonna twist your arm to make you dedicate it. I still would like to do ribbon cutting if you choose not to dedicate it. I just think it would be nice if you had somebody that the village thought to dedicate.
If we
to as well.
thought about dedicating it, maybe we could go with one of those brass signs that might be more of the style. So it might cost a little more, but you know, like that brass letter out, whatever it's called. with a-
Historic,
Yes.
rated
Yeah,
box.
like a more historical,
Yeah.
we could do
And
that.
then,
Yeah,
then
like
it'll
the-
match the building.
Yeah, I know, we could, but yeah, me and staff could work on that. If you don't wanna go with the Safe Station pre-made with the picture, you know, you wanna go a little bit more, you know, like the dedicated 8x10, or,
Yeah.
you know, yeah, we can work on that.
I could say
Any other
also,
questions?
if there's nobody that isn't mind, I have no problem using Andrew, because then I think people would want to look up who is that, and then they look at
Yeah.
the mission of the organization,
Yeah.
and then that's more education, and then it's just out there more for more people.
Agreed.
And you donated it to us, so I think.
23-year-old soccer player, people don't realize.
Yeah.
He played soccer.
All right.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Um,
My thought is let the union do it with theirs and get more firemen involved over here and more families over here for the dedication and more awareness of where it's at.
They're willing to, but we did definitely want to offer it up to you guys as well. And if you chose and you didn't want to, and you wanted to leave it blank or do a little bronze plaque, that's fine too. They came in the back end and said they can't think of anybody, but they wanted to do something, we're willing to do it. So, I mean, it's up to the board. All right, thank you guys.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
The only other thing is, if you do want to do a dedication or something, let's try and tie it into on a Saturday on a depot market or something like that. Oh, okay. Well, I'll just shut up then. Nothing further to add.
I'm glad I'm reading your mind. And just to be clear, the south side of the depot is preferred?
Where the bathrooms are.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think that's a smart spot.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to agenda items B.
I'll move to approve an agreement with Rent Fun for the implementation of a self-serve kayak kiosk along the Fox River in an amount not to exceed $35,000.
Second.
Hi.
Any discussion?
Hi.
So I don't really have anything to present here, just I'm here to answer any questions. This is a project that the board discussed last year around this time, and so it's been a little while, so we wanted to bring it back to the board for discussion and ultimate to contemplate this resolution to move forward with the professional service agreement.
You guys had the discussion. I wasn't on the board yet, but I did sit in the meeting and I seen all the excitement behind this idea. I avidly kayak myself and canoe. It's awesome. And I had some thoughts in the beginning, just overly concerned about certain things, but I've worked them out on my own to be like, I was checking out this organization or the company, and they have one on the Mississippi River. So I'm like, well, if they're doing okay on the Mississippi River, they'll probably be okay on the Fox. The only thing I would like to see if we could do differently is the fees. So Waukegan has a fee structure of a $3 unlock and then $2 per half hour. And I think it would be a little more better on the residents than the $25 for the first 2 hours. So it's a smaller area than I've seen them when I looked it up that other areas might have. So people might not be looking to do it for 2 hours. I think it's an investment in our community, so I'm not personally looking for a payback of the actual unit. I want people to be able to use it if they want to. And then if they want to just go out for a half hour, they don't feel like they're not going to do it because the fee's too high. So I didn't know what everybody else felt about that, but that was my only thing I would like to see changed.
So we did talk, the fee structure that is presented in here is kind of new for them, and this is actually, they kind of went away from those previous structures, and so we can go back and see, but those have been the ones that have set. They said that we can change it afterwards, but their recommendation is to start with that for the first couple months to see, because we also we thought 2 hours was too long as well, but they have said that their agreements as of currently and lately are those fee structures, so we can go back and see if they're open to lessening it right out of the gate.
So are they receiving the whole fee or?
Yeah, so basically, if I'm the person renting the kiosk, I will rent, and that'll be a one-time charge for me to get the kayak for 2 hours.
The village gets 30% of it.
Yes.
Village gets 30%.
The other thing to note, the third option in here is for $99, you can get a full pass, an annual pass. In those instances, it's not 30%. It's like a $5, $7 fee that we would get back on those purchases.
I think it was like $8 divided by
Something
all
like
the
that.
different units that you used it at. So, because it looked like you could do a $100 a year or $99 a year membership, and you could use them anywhere, was my take. Correct on that. So that was kind of neat. So I like that. Like I said, I'm just looking for accessibility for the people that live there, because there's like 3 types of people that probably would really use these. People that may not be able to afford to buy a kayak, people might not be able to haul a kayak, or people that don't know if they want to invest in one yet. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I just want them to be as easy as possible for them to jump into this and go. I think we got a huge gift from the county when they gave us that amazing boat launch. So it's like, to me, like a little investment from our end, even if we didn't get a complete payback, is palatable. So
Caleb, do you know if we could buy passes as a village that we could hand out to residents?
I don't know, but we can ask that
Like
question.
QR, like a code or something?
Yeah.
So people could get free ones and maybe check it out at the library or something, you can go to the museums for free?
Yeah.
Is there a reason why they went from that other structure to the 2-hour? Were people taking 2 hours? Do you happen to know if they were, with getting it out and getting ready and launching it? And,
Exactly.
Is there a reason they're forget the 1 hour?
Yeah, so in their experience, exactly that. By the time people are out in the water, and it just, for their revenue and business model, it made sense to them to kind of stick to a longer time, and that they were seeing that people were actually staying out there longer on average.
Who's monitoring the river and when the river gets up and moving and these people can't get back? Who's responsible to go get them?
Yeah, so thank you. That's a great question. That question is the reason why this took over a year, because we've talked to different vendors, and and the Mississippi River. I mean, that was, as staff, our kind of main concern from the get-go is the current and the river. So they would maintain the whole kiosk. I mean, in the agreement, they will help monitor that, and that's part of the structure in the agreement. If it gets to a certain level, they will close that. We will also have access to the dashboard, and we can turn it off whenever we deem it necessary for emergency regions. So we will have that capability as well.
I thought that's why we had a pickup for the police department. They go pick them up.
Yeah, but so to elaborate a little bit more on what will happen is, if the board did decide to move forward with this, we would get a local maintenance person, would have a kickoff meeting with them. So rent fund is not local, but we'll have a rep that we would work with, and Public Works would work with them, and they would get a kind of a local storage unit somewhere, and then they would have excess equipment there. So if we needed to replace a kayak, replace a helmet or a vest, they would be able to do that. To be honest, I've had communities, sometimes their time of changing the equipment needed could be a little slow, so we're going to try to work with them to kind of do that if need. But that's kind of their overall operation, how that would work.
So I see there's already this pad here, but why wouldn't we put it on the riverside of Water Street? Because it looks like it's on the park side of Water Street. But why wouldn't we put it on the riverside of Water Street, so you don't have to carry it across the street?
No, it's on the riverside.
It's on the
Oh, it
riverside.
is?
I
Yeah.
thought the same
Okay.
thing, the picture looked goofy.
Oh,
Yeah, I had
because
to
the
take
snow
two
was
looks.
covering the
Yeah.
river. That's why.
Oh.
I thought that was
Sorry.
grass.
If the park was a bit too big.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah.
So,
And they, yeah,
go ahead. You go ahead.
I mean, they're making it's like a cedar box, like in Chicago. That's the idea.
You're talking about this picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be, they have another look as well, that's not wood, but
Yeah.
that's
Prefer
the
that.
idea, yeah.
They want to put the wood box here, or we want them to put the wood box here?
They would put either, but they wouldn't want to put one here. Yeah, they would love to put the wood box there. Is there a concern with the?
It's just there's a lot of. I mean, it's cedar, I think. That helps, but wood tends to move a lot in this climate.
Yeah.
And
There have been no concerns presented yet, but they're both, their metal version and wood version, they would be open to putting it there, I believe.
They maintain it though.
They would maintain it.
The metal version, when I was on their website and I was looking at their different locations, it's pretty chain linky.
Industrially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, I understand the concerns of the wood. I was actually hoping that we weren't getting like a bait and switch, that we got this cool picture of the wood one and then we would get the metal one, but so I'm glad someone brought it up, so.
Within the 8, it looks like we're focusing on the 8-unit structure. What is the makeup of the tandem to single
Yes.
count in that 8 count?
So right now, the agreement that's in the packet, it just accounts for 8 single kayaks. But if we wanted to do tandems, we could do 6 singles and 2 tandems. The tandem kayak, it's 2,500 per. So, and that's why in the physical impact, it could go up to 10,000, depending on if we wanted to do the tandems. So as of now, the agreement accounts for 30,000, but we put the do not exceed limit to 35 in case you wanted to add tandems to it.
Right.
I mean, we want to add tandems, I think.
Okay.
People want to use this with their kids, they probably
Yeah,
want a tandem.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's people
We want a
learning
tandem.
too, so
yeah.
they're gonna wanna go out with an experienced person and learn, so I could see the use of the tandems.
Agree.
It's
Wanna
really
just do
hard when
2?
that second person's not helping though. It doesn't work.
What?
Doesn't work when the other person's not putting in the work though.
The nice part about the depth of the river there, you can always just walk back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just 2 tandems then, and then 6 singles to start?
Yeah, sounds
Do it,
good.
yeah, and we'll see.
We'll see how they rent,
No stand-up paddleboard.
Was the concern someone falling and busting their head?
You, Andy.
Yeah, we didn't really account for paddle boards in this just because of current river
Yeah.
conditions, so.
I don't see a lot of them out there really,
Yeah.
so.
It's pretty shallow too, so like you're much more elevated standing on that if you were to fall.
Yeah,
So-
and balancing, those are not easy sometimes, so.
No.
All right, well, we have a motion and a second. No more discussion, we can move on to the roll call.
Do you have everything you need?
Or vote.
No, that's it. Thank you very much.
Trustee Sauter,
Yes.
trustee Saviano,
Yes.
trustee Kunzi,
Yes.
trustee Mahoney,
Yes.
and trustee Oakley.
Yes.
All right, moving on. I'd like to jump down to E. Just to take care of the people that are here for this, if I could entertain a motion for E.
I'll make a motion to approve an ordinance amending section 116.05J3 of the Village Code and granting a supplemental video gaming license to Spartan Axe Throwing 2, Inc., doing business as Zamboni's Sports Bar and Entertainment.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? I know they're here, they waited their 6 months. Okay,
Trustee Sauter,
Yes.
trustee Saviano,
Yes.
trustee Kunzi,
Yes.
trustee Mahoney,
Yes.
and trustee Oakley.
Yes.
there you go, you guys
There
are
you go.
not taken care of.
Thank you.
Now we'll go to E. Discussion and direction regarding current designs for a multi-purpose soundstage proposed for 120 Railroad.
Okay. So, yeah, you've got me for the next 2 agenda items, I think, but yep, so what you see in the packet here is the current designs for the soundstage. And so in the memo, we outlined kind of some high-level questions that we wanted the board's discuss direction and feedback on, and I'm here for any questions.
That's cool.
I have an opinion, always.
I hope so.
So as far as the wording, the depot park, I like when it flows with the curve of the
Yeah.
structure
100%.
itself. That first one, it breaks it up, it's too awkward looking to me. So I think the lettering should flow.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
Is that, I don't like the cloth curtain on the
Right,
back
like the cloth.
personally.
We're gonna have to do a mixed platter, I think.
What do you mean by that?
Take the sign from one and take the back from another.
I like to
take the
mesh
back-
that back, because
Yeah.
it almost makes it like
Frankenstein
different spots behind it. The other one, to me, looks like a puppet show.
Okay.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, except.
It's like a what?
A puppet
Should-
show,
Oh,
a curtain.
show.
Should
Yeah.
that,
I don't like
so this looks like, is this on a stage or is this on the ground level?
It's
Like,
on
is this
stage.
elevated?
Yeah, no, this would be on our stage. This is just kind of like if you've already gone onto the stage. This is just the concept for
Yeah.
the band shell itself, but it'd be elevated.
Okay. My thought is,
They're not here to present this.
No, they're not.
They got questions here though.
unfortunate.
Is there a preference having decorative mesh on the interior ceilings and or leg posts? Which leg post should have the brick pillar column wraps, that type of stuff? Which Depot Park sign?
Yeah.
What materials?
Do we like the brick on the legs, the columns? It's, part of me thinks it looks clunky, part of me likes that it looks like the rest of our stuff, but I don't know, it looks a little clunky.
Yeah, is there a price difference? Because if it's a lot more, I'd maybe skip it for that same reason.
There will likely be a price difference for the brick. And like originally, when we looked at this, we talked about just having the front two be the brick without the sort of wave, so it's just was less busy, but also open to the last one, which was just the cleaner look. And they can do the picture on the last page with or without the mesh in between the legs.
The brick makes me think of like a dog with like winter booties on it. Like, I can't get that vision out of my head.
We said the same thing.
Really? Like, it looks awkward.
For the brick? you
With the
mean?
brick,
Yeah.
yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like.
the scale is just
But keep
very
in mind,
heavy.
brick can always get added later too.
Yeah.
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 We can- I mean, for
Yeah.
me-
Andy, I know you had a real vision for
I
this.
wonder,
Yeah.
Are we there yet?
I think no bricks are needed, especially it'll
Yeah.
save cost. And on the arch type, like I would make sure we use a font that's from our brand, like
Yeah.
Ignite or whatever we're using on the signs, just to tie that together.
And honestly, for readability, we might be better off with having the back sign not open. I think it could be 3D and stand off, but there's so much visual noise behind it. I don't know if it's gonna read well.
I agree, we should cover up the back.
So
The back of the sign,
oh, gotcha.
portion only, so that there's a landing spot for it.
Didn't
And
we-
then give it the dimension so it's not just stuck right on there or painted on there, but have it,
Right. I understand what you're saying.
or
Didn't
even
we
if
talk
it's
about making
mesh.
it wood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or making it part of the building so we can have an area to store equipment and that kind of stuff? Didn't we talk about that before?
So there is a proposal to add sort of like an outbuilding in the very back on the ground behind the stage. You can see it's like,
The green room, where they're calling it a green room?
yeah, so that would be where we would store the equipment during the summer, and it would be climate cooled. And then it also could be like a changing room for the theater productions.
yeah.
So we did talk with Richard at the Rouse Center about like sort of what their needs were for this, and so just so everybody's aware, they're wanting to do like have areas in the ceiling where they can connect rigging so that they
Mhm.
can have different types of drapes or whatever to make the productions. So they were okay with the panels being separated like that so that performers could get in and out and sort of use that sort of backstage area. But they were also open to the,
Are you talking about this like option one here with
Yeah.
this?
yes.
So these are not permanent.
So they are permanent, but they're open. So
Yeah.
They're like
Okay.
staggered, it looks
They're
like.
Yeah, they're
staggered.
staggered.
And they're staggered, yeah.
I kind of feel like they should go to the ground. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think you want to see the feet running around back there. It's distracting.
Sure. For
I think that's a
for
good
clarification, these, I don't think the concept does the panels justice where these are installed, but they can also be taken out. So it's just like hardware that where we can take them out if needed.
Okay, so like the tables that we have for events that go into the ground, the hole in the ground, but then you can pull them
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
if you,
Exactly,
okay.
The original idea we were going with White for figure 2 on this would be more of the permanent backstage wall. It'd be, you know, more of a cost because it'd be like an actual wall. But these figures 2 and 3, those are the permanent wall structures that we could contemplate.
No. Figure 3,
I mean, I'm not a sound guy, but is this normal for the side of this to be wide open like that? For like,
I'm not a sound guy either, but we talked to Rao and they didn't have any issues with the acoustics of the space currently.
Probably for visibility, if it's packed and people wrapping around it, you can see a bigger angle going out.
Is there gonna be permanent stage lighting?
Yes.
So we're probably gonna want some kind of screening to cover that, like maybe with just signage of Depot Park or something
Yeah,
like that.
I mean, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say this out loud. I'm kind of disappointed that they're not here
Okay.
to answer this for themselves for something that we're investing in
Sure.
on this. And it's not a slam to you. I
It's a lot of money.
I feel like
It's a
there
lot of
can be
money.
a lot of things that can be answered, and we can start stepping these things out, because
I agree.
there is, I have the same questions about the rigging, and part of me feels like maybe that's not the approach they're taking, but like, we just want to put the building up and then you guys figure out everything else afterwards. With the rigging and the sound, because last we spoke, Ryan's not here, but I feel like it needs to be a comprehensive conversation so that we're not, and maybe that's the next step,
Yeah.
but I don't know because they're not here, so.
Well, I will say, I made the decision not to have them
Oh,
here.
okay.
So that we could all have a very frank discussion.
Oh, okay.
And
Got it.
once, and honestly, like, the first draft of these was pretty disappointing.
Okay,
And I was unsure if we would even want to proceed with them because
Got
it
it.
was very lackluster.
okay, so we're having a frank conversation now.
So then we gave them more direction, and they came back with something that was started to proceed towards what we thought
Yeah.
could be workable. We do need them to come back and answer all of these questions. And I have the same concern that somebody brought up about the sound and like the openness on the sides. And I'm
Right.
generally like, I'm just trying not to put my opinion on this. I want you guys to
Right.
really give your honest feedback without me putting my opinion on it. But my concern was the same thing. Like, maybe there's not a wall all the way on the sides, but maybe they're very far back, so they could close off just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I was just thinking, nobody likes the feet look, but if there was sort of a wall, that, a low wall, maybe as high as these feet, but rather than wrapping that just like running along the side, that would be less, feel like feet, I think, and more like it's built in. I'm noticing, looking at these pictures, the rendering rear view option 2, that seems like that's the only one that shows like the solid I-beam for the feet, the legs. I really like that. I also really like these kind of half circles that are up by the rafter on the side, to create like the border of the roof.
I want to make sure I'm on the same page.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
That's a nice
Oh, the
detail.
little arches?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really
Yeah.
made
I
that
like
feel
it.
more like a train station.
Yeah.
In the woods.
What is
up
the roof?
above.
Is it gonna be like a, is it gonna be, do we know what the roof is?
Looks like corrugated, right?
Yeah, to Phil's comment, that's what I thought too. It was just metal roof.
So my concern, going back to the sides, is we get weather that comes through. Can they have like drop-down curtains or something that protects the equipment while the rain comes through? I mean, because
We can talk
otherwise
about
they're
that.
gonna pack everything up. They told us last time that, we were told last time, if any equipment's damaged, we have to pay for it. So, my concern is if it's gonna come through, we got this new weather station, maybe it's gonna come through really quick and we don't have to send everybody home. Can we protect the equipment, let the storm go through and then start right back up?
Good
So
point.
sides is gonna be a biggie.
Okay.
Similar concern where that overlap is. It looks like rain can kind of pour through
Right.
through the middle of the roof.
That's what I'm feeling like.
Yeah.
I'm feeling
So
like
somehow making sure that water doesn't come through
You
there.
mean where it goes up like to
Right
the
here.
second level of the roof?
Yeah, like in the third of the way across. If it's raining and windy, it'll just blow rain into the middle of the stage,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
This is a very.
possibly.
Fair
I
point.
agree.
right, right.
See that.
I'm sorry. I feel like I'm always positive girl, but negative Nelly, I'm questioning, I just was questioning Erica. Are these really the right people to do this? Are they more parks designers and like basic pavilion designers? And do we, if we want to have something that is gonna be able to answer these kind of questions, concerns, do we need to have somebody that is more of a specialist designing this, that is an outdoor, Scott, you're smiling.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting thought. I'm
Yeah.
not laughing at you, no.
No, that makes sense, because this is special, but they came and designed the whole depot grounds, the park, which is nice, but this with electronics and lights and, like you said,
Well,
acoustics.
I think that we have to be careful. I don't know how much permanent electrical equipment we want to put on this. I think that we set it up so people can bring their own equipment and set it up the way they want to do it, because everybody's going to have their own idea of how their lighting should be done and all of that stuff. I think if you go to Carpenter Park, where they have their band shell, I don't think it has any equipment there at all.
Yeah, that's also
Permanent.
like a very old band shell.
Yeah, I would at least like to have a basic sound system, so if the village is doing an event, we don't have to rent any equipment
Right.
or anything, it's all done.
Right.
I'm not,
But you're right, there's going
Well-
to be bands that are gonna bring in all their
Right.
speakers.
And I'm not saying we shouldn't have permanent speakers, but I just don't think they should be permanently maybe attached.
Yeah, and that's
Maybe
what
they should be.
the Row Center was saying too, is like, for each one of their productions, depending on if it's a orchestra, 'cause they really had specific thought about the way that the shape of the roof was, because they wanna do orchestra where there's no amplified sound at all.
Right.
And so the space has to be flexible to accommodate these various different needs.
Yeah.
And the one thing that we talked about internally was, you know, this is gonna be something we have in the park for decades to come, like, we
Yeah.
have to get this right. And we wanna be sensitive to the character of the downtown and make sure that the design fits in with the context, but also that the utility of it can meet
It's
a bunch
functional.
of different needs, because
Right.
there's gonna be a lot of demand for this space to be used.
Yeah.
So what I continue to reiterate is, yes, it would be great if we could construct this year, but it's more important that we get it right.
Get it right.
So
for
if
the
we
amount
need
of
to
money
take
it
more
is.
time to get it right, everybody's gonna feel better about making sure that every time we see it, we're proud of it, and we're not just like, oh, we made some quick decisions just to get it in this year. So I think, like I said, we're incrementally making progress, although it
Right.
feels slow.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of different constituencies we're trying to appease in terms of creating this multi-purpose soundstage that will serve a variety of uses.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not mad with how it's, the direction of
It's
how
coming
this is
along,
looking.
yeah.
This is
It's
coming
coming
along.
along.
My vision was very similar to this. And then like I had like just this wild thought of like, why can we use the caboose as a green room? And then you don't have to worry about running water or anything like that. And that's right there, and we have it and we love it. So instead of some structure right there, that's
Yeah.
the green room. I don't know. That was my additional thought.
It's not a terrible thought.
Interesting.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting idea.
It'd be unique to our town.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah, I think making sure that we've got the rigging, the ceiling rigging for lights, the ceiling rigging to hang speakers, and the electrical, you know, there's the first, you know, concept blush, but then all the other engineering, type of sound engineering and everything else that needs to go through that whole process and evaluation. And I would rather spend the time to get it right for, what are we looking at price tag, 1.5, 2
I
on
think
this?
by the time we get all the equipment that we want, that we should probably have, it's gonna be close to 2.
Yeah. So,
You want to ask
I personally feel like the one thing that doesn't sit well with me with these curved roof designs is the overhangs. Like, I just don't feel it's enough.
There's not enough overhang.
Yeah, and I think it,
Yeah.
like, we look at weather and that too. We're talking walls. So, but like, I just feel like when you go up to the top, and it's not what I'm looking for, but you see the figure 2, it seems to have like a very large setup overhang. Like, that structure looks like you're gonna be pretty comfortable in a rainstorm. Like, this one that we got seems like it's kind of like on stilts and it'll blow right through it. So, not to be too mean to
No,
it,
I hear
but
ya. I hear ya.
I just
Yeah.
feel like if you were to like change the radius or extend the overhangs, it might make it more functional.
Yeah.
Well, we can try that, like, that's good feedback. I can envision how that we could go a little bit further over the legs and
Yes.
still keep that
Mhm.
design.
Yeah.
Like right here is where I really get like the,
Yeah.
I do like the non-mesh look with the circles, and then like you were saying without the brick. I like that look, but like it just, like the side doesn't look right without like an extended overhang. It looks like one of those like really cute Cape Cods that you're like, man, I wish they gave it 6-inch overhangs on it, so.
And are these elevated?
What do you mean?
Is this a stage that's elevated?
It is, it's 4 feet?
Yeah, and then also the stage, I don't think the concepts do it justice, it's like that, so the front is gonna be taller in height, and then
Yeah.
the back will be smaller.
Yeah.
So,
That makes sense.
You have 4 or 5 steps in front of the stage down to the ground level, and then on the back side there's a ramp to come up.
Okay.
So it was 4 sidewalk squares, you can see on the back side of the stage will be level with the stage itself, and the ramp coming down.
Well, I think we got enough feedback to have them do a couple more rounds, and then when they bring it back again, we'll have them come.
I was thinking that the guy that we worked with on the garage,
Yeah.
he might have opinions on who would be a good designer for this.
Yeah.
You know, he might know people that.
Reach out to him.
And the
I think it's worth
overhang-
having a conversation at least. You know, I know we've already spent money now. Is the thing on this design, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So that's another thing, but I think it's definitely worth having a conversation because we don't know what we don't know. I think is the thing that makes me nervous.
Yes.
And like you were saying, with the lights being changed for every single event and the speakers being changed, we definitely want our rigging done by, like, all the points by someone that this is all they do. So that it's perfect for everybody that wants to use it.
Yeah.
And Matt, your point about the overhang, do you mean on the very far sides or the top or both of them?
I think both, because I
Yeah.
share your concerns. I like the idea of the clear story bringing that light in,
Yeah.
but I don't like the idea of rushing water coming through there as everybody's trying
And
to.
it- There's no
scurry to get-
measurements on here, but it looks like the sides are like 10 feet tall, where the first example of that just noodle-shaped one looks
Yeah.
like it's only like 6 feet tall on the edges.
Yes.
So when you have rain, I think that's gonna help a lot if they extend it,
Right.
even if it brings it down to like 6 feet from the ground.
Yeah.
Also feels
Yeah.
like that projects the sound
Yeah.
Yes.
like you're in a funnel.
It's more of a shell.
Like, yeah, I mean, do they have experience with acoustics? Do they have, I mean, all of these basic, fundamental,
Stuff that we don't know.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. like
You
an
don't know what you
orchestra.
don't know,
Mhm.
right? And I don't wanna spend the money and find out later that it's not, it's not
Right.
good
Not preferred.
acoustics.
Yeah.
And it's not a slam on them. I just want the right people to do the job.
Yeah.
The unique part for us too is we have like the Rouse Center coming in right there. Like, this is not just gonna be like a Park District stage. I think this is gonna be used quite regularly. Like,
Yeah.
we definitely want it to be right.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so we got enough feedback?
Yes.
Let's move on to D, discussion and direction regarding final drafts of the proposed short-term rental regulations and applicable hotel taxes. You got anything for us, Erica?
This one has sort of come before the board a little bit, and now bringing it to you for final discussion and feedback before we bring it back again for adoption. So nothing to vote on tonight, but This has, taken 6 to 8 months to refine through staff, village attorney, and PZHC. And I think what we put in the packet is representative of the feedback we initially got from the board, and then also incorporating the PZHC's recommendations, which we thought were good and, added more dimension to what staff had initially recommended. So if there's any feedback, we'll incorporate it. Otherwise, if there's not, we'll just bring this back for adoption at the next meeting.
Is this allowing anybody anywhere to open their house up as an Airbnb?
No.
I think special use permit.
For residential.
So if I want to rent out a room, I have to come to the village and get a permit to do it.
Under this plan, yeah.
And mail your neighbors and put a sign in your yard and go to PNC and come here
Wow.
and put an ad in the paper. I don't know if that's still required, but.
Clarify?
Yes, so PZHC, I think originally staff had recommended just a permitted use in the residential districts. PZ wanted a special use permit for the residential districts.
So we're here looking for feedback from the
Yeah, so we can go either way.
I personally use these short-term rentals every chance I get when I go out of town. And I was going through the set of rules, and I'm kind of going to break it down a little bit, but these things are rated by the users, and I've never been in one that was worse than my house. Not saying my house is bad, but like they're an investment, like, so they're nice. So I asked earlier like where it came from, because like I didn't know if there was a community outcry, but it doesn't sound like we're there. We have 4 of them, correct, in the community?
I believe so.
A couple of the things I couldn't digest very well was the 30-mile rule. I was kind of wondering where that came from, which is number 6. Corporate entities and individuals can operate, because like you gotta understand, like these are a really cool option for people that might have to work out of town for a year. They might Airbnb their home. Some people might have 2 homes, and they go away for the winter, summer, whatever. It's up to them. So I didn't really understand the reasoning between 30 miles. Like if they kept their original address here, but they're in Arizona.
So we crafted the regulations with the idea in mind to, right now with potentially 4 Airbnbs or VRBOs out there in the village, that's not really very impactful to the village or to the residents at this point. I mean, probably none of us knew that they were even operating. But as these become more allowed, the idea would be you would probably see a lot more residences turning into Airbnb. And so the overarching idea with the regulation is to prevent nuisance activity, right? So, to prevent people from partying, creating nuisance, having irresponsible owners that don't pay any attention to the rental and leave town and don't maintain it. Now, yes, Airbnb and VRBO, I'm sure, have some kind of standards that you have to maintain, and if you get a 1-star rating, no one's going to want to stay at your Airbnb. But the idea is to give chief and some of our enforcement officers like Chris some tools in the toolbox if something were to get out of hand. So there's no magic to the 30 miles. That can be easily changed. The idea was just to make sure that either an agent or an owner or someone is responsible in the event that we need to get a hold of someone pretty quickly.
I mean, I think there is I guess I would say that, housing in general is a limited commodity, and I don't like the idea of buying single-family homes with the intent purpose of renting them out as short-term rentals, and that's the only reason they're buying a single-family home. So I like this 30-mile rule because I think that limits that to some extent, not completely, but to some extent.
It could get rid of some of that private equity buyups that you're talking about.
Could you limit it to, it has to be their primary residence or second home, but not an investment property beyond?
Sure, or we can say either your agent that manages or you has to be within, a certain number of mileage. Yeah, we can definitely tweak that language.
It does seem like we have no hotels, and so we kind of need hotels. It was mentioned the PZ P&Z meeting that they have had in-laws stay at the Airbnbs in town, and I feel like I get the danger of having an outside investor owning all the homes as rentals and changing the nature of the neighborhood, but I feel like we're so far from there. Like, we don't have any hotels. We only have 4 with 0 complaints, so I feel like special use seems like an extreme step that we're going to ask these 4 to do, or for, especially if it's your own residence and you're just going to share a room for a month. Like, that seems like something you might need to do for economic reasons, to be responsible and pay your bills. You have to take on somebody to live with you, but it doesn't change the nature of the neighborhood at all because you still live there. So I see that as a separate thing that we should say
I
could be
think that
permitted for
I mean,
your own home, at least.
so these short-term rentals, you have to advertise, you have to find people. Renting a room out in your home to somebody that you know is a completely different thing. I believe.
Yeah, the goal of these regulations was to specifically target non-owner occupied rentals. So if we need to have a specific carve-out for what the situation that you just described, you're renting out a single room, but it's still your home that you're living in there, then we can add a carve-out for that. And I forgot, Matt, when you asked earlier, the impetus for this, it's also that the proposed development at the lumberyard will have multiple Airbnb units in it.
Yeah.
So this is also like setting us up for that to be an allowable use in that area.
And if I
So right now, is it not allowable in that area?
It's not allowed at all in the village right now. There's no use period for a short-term rental.
So the people
So
that
we have an
are-
ordinance
that
in
are-
place, or?
We have no ordinance in place.
So that would mean it's allowed, correct?
No. If it's not if it's not a permitted use explicitly spelled out in the village code, we've always taken the position that it's not allowed, period.
So the people, the 4 places that are doing this now are out of
Yes, but
compliance or
if you, yes, and in this ordinance
so we need to catch up.
was quite lengthy, but in it, we've grandfathered in those that are already, we propose to grandfather in those that are already doing it.
So what's this? No more than 1 short-term rental shall be allowed at a specific time or location during 1-year license period?
So meaning, you can't have like renter A in that group and renter B all sharing the same house at the same time, 2 different renter groups.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so if you had a duplex, though, that would be fine, correct?
Right, per living unit.
Per living unit?
It
That
would be different units.
makes sense. I had a similar question I was gonna ask on that one. So,
And Chris, and don't forget in this ordinance too, Chris is the ultimate authority in occupancy. So as the building inspector, he will go out and look at, the safety aspect of how many people per unit should be allowed at a given time for fire purposes and other safety issues.
which brings us to 4 here, which is at no time the total occupancy of a location exceed the maximum occupancy allowed. That's kind of like, I have a 3-bedroom home, but I invite 2 people over for dinner. Like, I'm not reading that correctly. Like, is there like a total occupancy amount of beds, or
No,
where does it come from?
It's not the amount of beds and it's not the number of bedrooms. It's, I think it's either square
Okay.
footage or like
And
per,
exits.
yeah, do you, I mean.
Mark, do you know?
Do you know, I know you know for commercial, but maybe not. Yeah.
So, it's square footage and the amount of exits.
Yeah.
But the residential code does have some key, like bed numbers, and you can't put 10 beds in a 10 by 10 room.
Right.
Got it. So,
But this is also trying to avoid them having parties at it too, right?
I mean, the
So
idea would
that-
be, you would have a group of 20 rent a 1 or 2 bedroom house, right? Like to throw a party in or just, everyone's sleeping on the floors and,
I fully get that part now. I appreciate you for clarifying, because for me, I was like, I rent these with a friend. I get a 1-bedroom and there's 2 of us, and
No,
then we
no.
have people over for dinner.
no, because
So,
you see in
perfect.
Airbnbs, like they'll put sometimes 3 beds in the room, like they'll bunk beds and then add another
Yeah.
single bed.
We absolutely have to make sure that it's
Yeah, it makes
safe.
sense, yeah.
So that I'm okay with. Just go through here.
Hotel tax to the village.
I guess I do sort of agree with Andy that an actual special use license, what we call a special use license, has legal framework surrounding it already that is maybe excessive. Is there a way we can say it's not a special use, it's just a short-term rental
Allow.
permit?
You can
Allowed
definitely
use.
have, in any district you want, you can make it a permitted use. In any event, they'll have to get the license through the proposed code amendment. So the license regulations will carry whether it's a permitted use or a special use anyway.
Yeah, we're already putting a bunch of rules on these four that are already not causing any issues, but through this, just that we are gonna define it and have a license, they're gonna move from what they were doing, which is no rules, to being inspected, following a whole bunch of rules, paying taxes. So I feel like that is probably enough. Like adding this special use permit is usually when you're changing the nature of a certain zone or area beyond what it is currently, and I think just having a handful doesn't really change the nature of the town. Or another person on the PZHC meeting was like, oh, there was one down the block and I didn't even know it was there until they sold it and they're gone, but nobody even noticed. So I feel like you don't want, if our town becomes a tourist destination and it explodes and investors all buy them up as hotels, that's a possibility way in the future. But we could, there was one idea of there could only be one within so many yards of another one, like one on a block or one in every 2 blocks, or some sort of cap, I think would be enough, because I don't think that's a real danger for right now.
So, Trustee Sauter, that was exactly what the PZHC was contemplating when they recommended the special use was, A, how to let your neighbors know, and B, how can the board in the future prevent a block from turning into a row of hotels. They wanted to make sure that the character of the village and our houses were still kept as a priority, while trying to be business friendly and letting your neighbors know that this is the proposal.
I also believe, though, people own that home, right? So you got someone that owns a home and their life changes for whatever reason, they want to hold on to it, and this is a good way to hold on to it. So I agree with some rules, and I was reading the state has none, pretty much is what it looked like. So, and then the county rules were pretty much really strange, and they only applied to unincorporated areas. So I'm like, all right, so we need a set of rules. If we adopt rules, I would like to see those just be in place. They pay the taxes, they get their permit to rent, and that's that. I wouldn't want to see a special use. If there's 2 houses on 1 block and then 2 blocks with none, I don't see the problem. The number 12 here, I really specifically do not like the wording of. I understand we don't want weddings, conferences, parties, that's fine, but or other events regardless of the number of attendees. So like mom coming over for a barbecue. So I didn't like the wording of that. I feel like it is pretty wide.
I don't think that's the way it
My
was stated.
girlfriends.
I don't think that's the way it was stated in the ordinance.
I think they're just thinking about using that occupancy as a wedding, not people that are attending a wedding.
Yeah, and I understand the wedding part, but it says or other events
Right.
regardless of the number of attendees. Sometimes when people will rent these, they might come to a family event in town, rent one, and then they all meet up and
That's
have.
not what the ordinance says. The proposed ordinance says, you may not hold out or utilize a short-term rental property as a venue for weddings, conferences, parties, oh, it does say, I'm sorry, or other events. We can strike out other events, or we
I
can.
think parties and other events can be struck. I think that answers your question. You're gonna have a bunch of people over, that would be
Yeah.
considered another event. I get
Right,
it.
and I do believe like a lot of these, if you go onto their sites, will say they have exterior cameras. Like these are people's investments. Like they spent $400,000 or $500,000 on a home. They really don't want to see it trashed. So they'll post on there if there's exterior cameras. They're getting pretty good at it. A lot of these though are not. Like from my view, most of the ones I've stayed at have all been owned by like some family. Like they have people, we communicate. I know it can be abused, but I don't want to set up a bunch of restrictions where we're going after the abusers, but we're affecting the people that just might want to rent
So one thing to consider, I think we can definitely strike parties or other events, and the meaning would still be the same. I would just caution the board to think about, we have other uses in the code, like banquet halls and venues that have specific requirements. So I think just to be careful not to cross over into those uses.
Absolutely, we don't want someone throwing some huge wedding or something at someone's house, like obviously that makes perfect sense. I just want to make sure it's specific, so.
Yeah, and that one, it
I think I've
seems
exhausted
okay
my
to have, because I think it would
questions.
only come up if there's an issue at a house and the police show up and it's like a video game convention or something of like a bunch of gamers got together, but you can say, you can't do other events, so you can't do that. But I feel like the owner probably already doesn't want to have big events at their
Right.
home. And so it'd be helping the homeowner enforce the rules, probably.
That does, yeah, that to me feels like the kind of thing where it's in there, but not necessarily enforced unless there is a problem, and that just gives us the ammo, if somebody causes a problem, that we can go in and say, hey, you can't do this. You know,
Right.
that's how I read that, personally.
Yeah, me too. I want to say too, like the special use permit I do think is a lot right now, but I understand that like if you build it, they will come. Like with what we're doing in downtown and all that, like I feel like we have to have some structure in place for when all of that happens. So maybe if we don't do it now, we definitely need to track with the permits, what they are, where they are, how many we have, and when we get to that point where we have to switch it to special use so we can monitor it better. I see a whole lot of people with how we're up and coming being like cha-ching for East Dundee, and that worries me for that potential. We're not here yet, but I understand why we would get there. So that's my conflict.
How much extra effort has to be put into if it was a special use permit?
It's about a $300 fee, list of residences and properties in 250-foot radius, application, a public hearing, and then before the board.
So
They have to
I'm
mail
just
a letter
saying,
too?
I'm just saying as a good, I'm trying to imagine myself like down in your neighborhoods, right? Because I'd want to know. I mean, even 2 doors down in the area where I am, where the properties are very far apart, I'd want to know as a good neighbor to go, oh, why are all these people coming and going, or what's going on with that house? It makes you a better neighbor, so you can help either help the owner if something weird is going on that you can see. It makes you a better and makes you more aware of like, oh, that guy's kind of strange or whatever. I'm a little concerned about them. You know, we pride ourselves in having, you know, residential neighborhoods and streets, and this is taking something, and I'm a big Airbnb fan, but you're kind of almost commercializing, your neighbor is commercializing what's next door to you or 2 doors down from you. And agreed, great pride in ownership, incredible places, you know, the places that are doing well are really going to succeed. But at the very least of like making sure that your neighbor knows what is going on, I think strengthens the neighborhood instead of, and that they would want to be open to going through that extra permit. I don't think it's too much more to ask, honestly.
I just want to note, and it matters not to me which way the board decides, I'm just going to draft the ordinance until the draft, but from a regulatory perspective, it's a lot easier to go from a special use to a permitted if you decide you want to change it later than from a permitted to a special use.
That's right.
Because all those permitted uses will be grandfathered in, and so that'll already be done. right? So just something to consider.
If I wanted to turn my house into a long-term rental, is that a long process?
It would be a license fee and then inspections and annual inspections, just like this, and fees. I don't believe it's special use.
That's a good point. It's a lot easier to do than a short term then.
Yeah, again, I think it's because of the character. It's what the PZHC said.
Those are for renters that are renting for like a year
or more.
more.
But keep in mind, the people that are doing these short terms, they're on vacation, half of them. They're bringing funds to our community. They're eating at our restaurants. They're drinking at our establishments. They're celebrating our new theater, our band shell. I was surprised to see only 4, to be honest. I was like, I would have thought this was way cooler of a place, but now hearing that we don't really have an ordinance, so they're kind of all illegal, well, that kind of opens up that chapter of why it's that way. So I would like to see them taxed properly. I'd like to see them inspected, but I just don't want to see anything that's over that would push them away. I do not want to see special use permit.
Yeah, I would
So-
like to keep it easy as possible, at least right now. You know, we're really putting limits on people that we don't have an issue right now. And if it starts to come, then we can deal with it then. But right now, we have 4, and they're not an issue.
Yeah, who's coming to visit and stay in an Airbnb in East Dundee? It's probably family members who are visiting somebody in East
Or a
Dundee.
wedding right down the street.
Or a wedding, but yeah, like family events. We're not really spring break HQ over here, and we don't have like raging parties.
Maybe now with the kayak launch.
You know, right?
But yeah, it could all change with the kayak launch. But with all these extra rules we're adding on top of it, it gives us a lot of ammo. I feel like,
You can always revoke the license if someone violates the rules, right?
yeah.
So,
I just want some sort of a tracking system so we know
Right.
exactly who and where.
so do we have, so it sounds like we have a consensus on making this all permitted use, right? Sounds like.
I think so. I mean, to Kathleen's point of knowing, like we could have an announcement that is made to neighbors if somebody
add
does
that?
that, so that they're aware that.
Would you like it within a certain,
A good neighbor, a good neighbor policy, like, hi, I just bought this house, it's gonna be an Airbnb, and
to everyone on the
Just
block? Or
like
like
direct
here's how you
neighbors
can get
or-
a hold of me.
Like a special use permit requires you to mail people sometimes in West Dundee because they're within a radius around
Yeah.
you. So I think
Yeah, that's why I'm like, it's overkill.
2 doors or like within a house, it's kind of helpful to know
Yeah,
if you
So
don't
with,
know your neighbors.
like within a 1 block radius? Or?
Sure.
Yeah,
no block radius.
Yeah, no more than that, I would think.
yeah. Definitely let Kathleen know. I'm just kidding.
If the real issue that we're concerned about is people buying homes and then lowering our stock, I can side with that understanding because a lot of people want to live here. We don't have a lot of houses for sale.
Right.
We could do something similar like what we've seen the board do in the past where there was like a time restriction. Like you would have to own a home for a certain amount of time before we would give the permit, which might kind of block out a lot of that investor
Speculative.
traffic. And yet we're retaining our community that might be out of town for 6 months working, whatever it is, protecting the people here, but kind of pushing back against that commercial buy-up. So it's just an idea, if that's a concern of ours.
Yeah, that or the primary or secondary home only, but not just a commercial home.
I like the idea of possible, like, unit amounts, rather than like a mileage or something, like,
Yeah, I'd like
Don't
some kind of
know how to
cap on it
phrase
as
that.
well.
I'm not sure about that whole having to live in there. I mean, think about it. We're looking at redeveloping like downtown and stuff. Maybe putting apartments above and people developing. I would rather people invest money into this town if they're gonna put in some Airbnbs or short-term rentals. It might be advantageous for us.
Yeah, I guess
Like you said,
I
we
just
don't
mean
have a
residential,
hotel.
but yeah, the business district I think should be a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could carve that out.
Yeah.
Business, obviously not. residential,
Yeah.
the 12-month ownership requirement
For a single-family home.
for single family.
Yeah,
Right.
just where we're trying not to change the single-family neighborhoods, but
Right.
the downtown seems
That
to.
makes
Yeah, we don't want to chase off somebody who wants a substantial
I'm good with
investment in the community.
I would recommend, just for
Okay.
logic purposes and to be consistent, I would recommend a 250-foot square foot radius of the notification that's similar to the special use.
Okay.
Just to keep it
Sure,
easy for the
yeah.
applicants too, because then they're gonna say, well, I don't know, it's easy to just go on GIS, plug in 250 square feet, and it populates,
Okay.
just for the sake of ease.
Does that seem
Fine.
too large, like just 100 square?
Who's gonna help them with that, I guess is my question.
I help them all, and every applicant, every special use we get.
Nice.
I mean, you could do 100 square feet, I mean, if you think about it, you know,
I mean, how
sometimes.
wide are your lots down there?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, just immediate neighbors, I think, would be curious, but if it was like a block away, I don't know that I'd need to know about
We
it.
do 100, 150 then, or 100?
Yeah, I
100 should
think,
be 3 houses.
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you. Is that it? All right, let's go to reports. Trustee Sauter.
There will be an art show this weekend on Saturday, so be sure to go to the Black and White Art Show.
Looking forward to it.
It'll be at Will on Birch, and also at Zamboni's. There's like a little extension party there, and Black and Gray and Eastside Cafe will also serve drinks in the lawn.
Great. Okay.
And you might want to add to, I don't, probably let
Trustee
something out.
Saviano?
Blick is doing a 1-hour demo in the tent at Zamboni's, like an art demo. So we got them sponsoring us. And yeah, that's it. Hope to see you.
Trustee Gundy? No. Trustee Mahoney?
We just completed our first Dundee Community Events Depot Committee meeting of the year, and have worked on setting some schedules, and we will have the postcard that we'll hand out at the parade. Per request, we will be adding in a July 4th event, which is a Saturday. It will be beefing up and extending potentially further the Depot Market for that day into additional events. We are abandoning, originally we were talking about doing kind of a back-to-school event, but the calendar is getting kind of booked up. And so instead, really focusing on beefing up a big Halloween event. At the depot, we're still formulating, what exactly those would look like, and what kind of support would be. We have our next meeting tentatively scheduled for March 9th. And so we'll be fleshing all that out a little bit more then, and feed back to you all. So that, looking forward to it. No, we're good. You talk about the parade next time. Yeah, we have one more meeting before the parade. Yes. Yeah. That's it.
Okay, Trustee Ackland?
No report.
All right. Our attorney?
No report.
No. Franco?
No report.
Caleb? Chief?
No report.
Phil?
No report.
Joe?
No report.
No report. No report here. Actually, we do have our first class coming up next week, don't we? Doing training for the public works coming up.
Nice.
All right, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to
So-
adjourn.
Second.
Is there a,
There's no
Executive session?
executive?
no.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carries.
Okay,